Welcome, 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 everyone. My name is Mr. Chadwick Robinson, founder and leader of the Dream Team Dynasty, and I'm so excited to present some information to you guys for those who are going to be viewing this information on the panel, and for all the people that's going to be viewing this information just from the outside looking in to just enjoy the show and obviously get some information that's going to empower you with your business and really equipped you with the right mindset on how money works. I can tell you, through all my years of experience here in home-based business, and not only home-based business, but even when I was in corporate America working for the 9-to-5 system, I never quite understood how money works. See, all of my life I've been a go-getter. All of my life I've been someone who's been chasing, you know, money. I've always been the person who's always going to get money. Meaning, my thought process was always, hey, want to be more successful? Go get more money, right? Increase your income. Always increasing my income, working to increase my income by working to get more money, right? And as in my career, as I was able to go from someone who was working a 9-to-5 job to being a complete entrepreneur for the last 10 years of my life, and now, seeing residual income from the comfort of my home and having that level of success. When you start to really be able to have that type of success, you start to notice things are not necessarily the way you mapped them out. See, I've been fortunate enough to have some very, wealthy friends now, friends who truly have the rags to riches story. And I can tell you, in the field of network marketing, I've met a lot of people who made a lot of money in this industry. But the problem is, guys, is once you learn how to make money, you discover that there's an additional problem. See, the focus shouldn't be on how to make money, is what to do with the money that you already have. See, I've seen some people in this industry be able to make hundreds of thousands of dollars through selling or recruiting a product or recruiting people to sell a product, and in the long run they end up with IRS problems. See, more money sometimes can equal more problems. So while you're searching and trying to figure out how to make more money, you really need to focus on what to do with the money you already make. See, most networkers and entrepreneurs in home-based business, no matter what company you're in, you have to think about this. Whatever company you're in, there comes with you have the ability to make whatever kind of money that's in the compensation plan. Most compensation plans are very lucrative. But here's the deal. Most of those compensation plans will require selling and recruiting in order to get to the money. The more you sell, the more you recruit, the more money you make. And the realization, ladies and gentlemen, is not everyone can sell and recruit. Matter of fact, the realization is most people cannot sell or recruit. So when you're looking to build an organization and you're talking to the average person, you have to understand that that is the first number one objective. That's the challenge that's going to come your way when trying to build a huge organization, right? So you'll have challenges trying to get to the money because the money requires you to have to sell and recruit, and you would have to bring people in who would have to sell and recruit, right? And not many people can do that. I've been fortunate enough to be one of those people who can. But what I've come to realize after making thousands of dollars in this industry, I was introduced to a concept that actually blew my mind. See, when I started to realize that it's not what I make, it's what I do with the money that you already make. See, we live in America, and America is a capitalistic government, and that's the first key. See, we want to teach you what we call financial literacy. We want to teach you the secrets that the wealthy people know. See, you ever heard of a saying that say, hey, you want to hide something from someone? Put it in a book. Well, see, that's a reality, ladies and gentlemen. Most of the wealthiest secrets on how to actually achieve wealth is hidden right under your noses. And tonight and today, guys, I'm going to be exposing some of those secrets, and hopefully some of this information that I'm going to share with you can actually open your eyes on how to truly achieve wealth. See, it's a difference between being rich and it's a difference between being wealthy. Two different mindsets. See, you can go and get rich by selling and recruiting. You can go and get rich by creating a lot of sales, but you can't get wealthy. See, wealthy requires a different mindset. See, we want you to know how America was founded. See, before you could actually become wealthy, you have to know the game. You have to know the history of how this company was built. Because, see, most of us have bought into the American dream. And what is the American dream? See, the American dream is the idea or the concept of going to, school and getting a good education. So you can get out and get a good paying job. So you can work 40 hours a week for 40 years of your life and to retire off of 40%. That is what you call the American dream. And the American dream is simply what it's called. American dream. Dream would be the key word of that, guys. Because the truth is that dream will not become a reality. Because the system was designed to sell you a dream. That is the first thing that I want to make sure that everyone that's listening to the sound of my voice understand. The American dream is exactly what it's called, an American dream. See, we want you to know that America set up a system to benefit who? Wealthy people. See, we want you to know before the government was formed, wealthy people had all the money. And they wanted to create a government, right, to keep organization throughout, the world, throughout this country. So they created a government. So before the government could exist, you had very wealthy people like bankers and people who had all the real money, right, create the government. And they created the government based on what they wanted and what would empower them to stay rich. That's why you hear the rich get rich and the poor will continue to get poor. What do I mean by that? Well, I want you to really open your mind and let me, paint pictures on the canvas of your imagination. And I really want you to think about this concept because hopefully by the end of this conversation, you'll be awakened. See, wealthy people understood that they already had money. And they did not want poor people to be able to achieve wealth like them. So when they set the system up, they set it up to benefit them. So this government that we live in, this country that we live in, America, was based off of capitalism. Meaning wealthy people set the system up to capitalize on your lack of understanding how the system works. And they put a system there to make you believe in, to keep you distracted from the real secrets of how the system actually works. People have bought into the 40-40-40 plan as the system that will truly create wealth, when that is only simply a distraction on what the true secrets are. See, there's three things that's robbing you of your fortune. See, we want you to know, everyone that's listening to this, we want you to know that you're wealthy already. You just don't know it. See, the reason why you don't know it is because there's three things that's robbing you of your fortune. Taxes, debt, and inflation. See, did you know that if you do not have a business, a home-based business, and that if you only work a 9-to-5 job, do you know that you're paying the highest percent in taxes? 28 to 33%. So if you're making $100,000 a year, which most people are not, but let's say for instance you are, you may take home 65, which means the government will get 35,000 of your hard-earned dollars every single month, every year. See, that's what you call capitalism. See, taxes will rob you of your fortune. Taxes are robbing you of your fortune. Every single paycheck. See, the realization is 87% of America all work jobs. And the 87% of America who works jobs 90% of them have their W-4 forms filled out incorrectly. So your lack of knowledge is being capitalized upon by wealthy people who created the government. And by the lack of you understanding how taxes work is also robbing you of your fortune. See, one of the secret codes in taxes, guys, is that labor that makes money is taxed more than money that makes money. I'm going to say that again. Labor that makes money is taxed more than money that makes money. Now you might ask, Mr. Robinson, what do you mean by that? See, every single day that you go to work and you work for a living, your labor is making money, right? And labor that makes money is taxed more than money that makes money. So you take a wealthy person who already has money, who does not have to get up and work for money. They already have money. What they do is they take their money and invest their money. And their money makes money. And they pay less taxes on their money because their money is making money. And you pay more taxes because your labor is making money. See, wealthy people implemented this into the system to keep them wealthy. See, because the philosophy is this: the more you work, the more they take. You see? The more their money works, the less the government takes. So, for everyone that's listening to this call, maybe you have this idea of being wealthy. Let me ask you a question. Which one makes more sense? To follow the rules that wealthy people follow, or do the exact opposite of what the wealthy does? See, I would think following exactly what wealthy people do would be the way to go. See, if you work your way up from 50,000 to 100,000, let's give you an example, right? We've covered taxes. Let's talk about inflation and how inflation robs you of your fortune as well too. Let's say, for instance, you started off at your job 15 years ago and you made $50,000 when you first started. Let's say 15 years later, you're making $100,000. Your income has doubled. You would think that you would probably think that you would be doing well, right? But here's the deal. It took you 15 years to double your income. So it's great that you went from 50 to 100,000 in 15 years, but here's the deal. Inflation tripled in 15 years. What is inflation? Inflation is the cost of living continues to go up. So the value of the dollar continues to go down. So yeah, it's 15 years later and you're making $100,000 a year. And on paper it says 100,000. But in the reality, you're still making 50. Because 15 years ago, the gas prices wasn't $4 a gallon. See, 15 years ago, a carton of milk wasn't $4. See? 15 years ago, it didn't cost you, $100 to go into a movie with your kids. See, 15 years ago, all of the prices, your cost of living, 15 years ago was completely different. So the value of the dollar goes down. So we call inflation the silent killer. So while you believe in the philosophy of working and working more, working harder to make more money, all you're saying is, government, take more from me because my labor is producing money. So the more you make, the more they take. And then the cost of living continues to go up. So that's the silent killer that slowly, eats away at you year after year. And of course, debt, guys. Debt is a very, very big problem. And the government capitalizes off of debt. Your debt makes wealthy people continue to get more wealthy. Let me explain. See, in the 40-40 rule, when you're going to work every single day, you're working to get a paycheck. And let's say, for instance, your paycheck is $2,000. When you get that check for $2,000, where do you put it? Do you cash it and put the cash under your mattress? No, I'm sure you don't. When you cash it, where do you put that bulk of income? Most of Americans are going to say in a bank. Where else can you put a whole bunch of cash? But the question is this: do you really understand how a bank really works? See, we want you to understand there's two lines at the bank, guys. People who's coming and dropping money off, and another line of people who's going to the bank to borrow. See, most people are under the illusion that the bank has money. See, the joke is on you guys. Because see, the bank does not have money. The bank has our money. See, the bank has our money, guys. That's the key part that most people have to understand. They have our money. Let me ask you a question. If the bank decided to go ahead and, if everyone, let's say you banked at, I'm not going to name a bank. I'm not going to put a bank on the spot here. But let's just say, for instance, we all had the same bank. And right now, everyone at that bank said, you know what? We're all going to go to the bank and pull our money out at the same time. What would happen to that bank? The bank will collapse, right? Why? Because the bank wouldn't have any money. So that shows you that what? The bank doesn't have money. They have our money. So how does a bank continue to function with just our money when we can all go and pull out our money anytime we want? See, what the bank does is we give them our money, and then they take our money and invest it into loans, into stocks, and different things, and they create income off of our money. See, you go put $2,000 in the bank, they give you nothing for it. But they take your $2,000 and loan it to somebody who needs a $2,000 loan for a car. And then they charge them, interest on that $2,000. So they took your $2,000, gave it to someone else, and charged them interest. You see? So they're getting wealthy off of your money. See? Your lack of understanding how money works is making someone else wealthy. See, we want you to understand, number one, write this down. Your money never stops working. It just simply stopped working for you. See, the banks are using your money. The banks have been using your money ever since you started putting money in the bank. See, the realization is the average person between the ages of 18 and 65 will make $1 million. Question is, where will that money go? See, you're wealthy and you don't even know it because of taxes, debt, and inflation slowly eating at you every single month. The philosophies that you've bought into have been calculated and mapped out for your destruction. See, most of us like to work all year long and let the government take out all these taxes and wait for a whole nother year for a tax return. And we're satisfied with that because we believe that, hey, that's the biggest check of the year. But see, people don't understand how debt robs you every month. See, while the government is taking $250 out of your check every check, or $500 out of every check, or how much ever they're taking out. When the light bill shows up and you don't have all the money. You do have it, but you don't have it at the moment, right? Because why don't you have it? You don't have it because the government took $250 out of your check. So when the light bill shows up and you can't pay the lights because you're like, well, I have it, but I don't have it. The light bill is due, on the 5th, but I don't get paid till the 15th. And the check before that I got paid, but they took out $250 in taxes. So I would have had it had they not took the taxes out. But since they took taxes, they're killing me in taxes. I don't have it right now. So then the light company says, hey, it's okay. Pay a late fee. Or when the bank tells you, hey, overdraft charges. It's not that you didn't have it. You did have it. The government just took it out of your check to where you didn't have it because the government took it from you, late fee. You see? When your car note is due and you can't pay it, it's $350 and all you have is 120 and you can't come up with the other, 100+ dollars. It wasn't because you didn't have it. You did have it. The government just took it from you out of your paycheck. So when the car place says, hey, we got to attach some late fees. See, when the government tells you, hey, we got, you're paying everything late. See, all of those late fees start to really add up. All those high interest rates start to add up because of bad credit. And what we're teaching people is there is a way without selling and recruiting to be able to take control of your finances and actually create wealth. Because see, if you want to be wealthy, you have to understand how wealthy people get wealthy. See, most people are trying to get wealthy the way broke people are trying to get wealthy. See, broke people are broke for a reason. They haven't discovered how to be wealthy. See, if you want to be wealthy, you need to look at the people who are wealthy and what do they do. Wealthy people understand the secrets. Wealthy people understand the codes. It's not about selling. It's not about recruiting. It's about understanding taxes, debt, and inflation, and understanding that you have to be what we call cash flow positive instead of cash flow negative. It's about understanding what assets and liabilities are. See, it's very, very simple. Your life falls into two categories: assets or liabilities. Liabilities are things that you've invested into that bring you absolutely no return on your investment. I'm sure most of you, listening to this, maybe you went to the Beyonce and Jay-Z's concert, $300. Let me ask you a question. Outside of a good time and some great music, what was your return on your investment of that $300 that you spent for a ticket? See, that was a liability. Not saying that you shouldn't have went. I'm telling you, I love Jay-Z and Beyonce and they have great music, but I'm just trying to paint a reality. Assets versus liabilities. Assets is when you take cash, create an asset that produces you more cash, right? Positive cash flow. If you was to draw a line on a sheet of paper down the middle and write out your assets versus your liabilities, you will clearly see that you're on the road to destruction. Most people have no liabilities. I mean, no assets, just tons of liabilities. People don't even understand the difference between assets and liabilities. Some people think that their house is an asset. Your house is not an asset. Your house is a liability. You get no return on investment on your house unless you bought the house and you're leasing the house out to someone else who's paying for the house, and you're taking the cash that they're paying you and investing into another asset to produce more cash. But if you have a house and you're living in your own house, paying your own house note, with the interest fees attached to it, it's a liability. Car note, liability. I want you to think about how many assets do you really have formulating for you? Do you have anything that you've taken cash and investing into that gave you a return on your investment consistently? See, you want to be wealthy, you have to create assets. It's very, very simple. You have to create assets. And you have to understand that labor that makes money will always be taxed more than money that makes money. So you have to understand that you have to put yourself in a position to where your money is creating money. Most people think to have a successful retirement, you have to save money. Let me break the news to you. Robert Kiyosaki says that saving money is for losers. Because see, saving money is just simply saving money. If your money should be duplicating. For every dollar, it should bring you back 5. For every 5, it should bring you back 10. For every 10, it should bring you back 100. For every 100, should bring you back 1,000. For every 1,000, should bring you back 10,000. What good is it to save money if your money is not flipping? So that's a wrong philosophy. And remember, inflation will always continue to eat up that money anyway. So as you're saving it, it's still losing value because the cost of living is continuing to go up. So even if you save $100,000 over the next 20 years of your life, 20 years from now, it won't be worth 100,000. It'll only be worth 50,000 because of inflation. So how do you actually become wealthy knowing this? See, you have to outpace inflation, and you can't do it through your labor because there's not enough hours in a day for you to outpace inflation. The only way you can outpace inflation is through investing. Wealthy people invest. Their money makes money. I'll give you an example. One of my leaders and coaches and mentors, Mr. Brian Bean, when I sat down with him and he explained this concept about the company that I'm involved in called MyEcon, which is a financial company that teaches you financial literacy and money strategies and how to use money as a tool to create wealth. When I sat down with Mr. Bean, he told me, listen, I can show you how to be a millionaire with no selling or recruiting. Literally, because most companies say, oh, you don't have to sell and recruit. At the end of the day, yes, you do. He meant literally, no selling or recruiting, not telling one soul about your opportunity or not telling one soul about the business. I said, explain it. He said, how old are you? I said, I'm 34 years old. He said, you have 31 years before 65, the retirement age. I can show you how to be a millionaire before then. No selling or recruiting. He says you have 31 years. He did some calculations. He said if you was to start investing today, $265 a month over the next 31 years of your life, you would be a millionaire. I said, explain. He said, well, $265 for the next 31 years in your life would come out to a total of $97,000. But if your investments, the investment that you were investing into, right? If they were bringing you back 12% interest on your money because of the compounding interest of you continuing to invest $265 for the next 31 years in your life, your $97,000 would have turned into $1 million. Let me repeat that. Your $97,000 would have turned into $1 million by the age of 65, which means your money literally turns you into a millionaire. Not your labor, not your work ethic, not your selling, not your recruiting, not your ability to speak well and do things that the other person cannot do. Just simply understanding how to make your money create wealth. That's what we want to teach people. I'm involved in another company, and it's a great, company that pays very, very lucrative for selling and recruiting, and I'm in a very, very lucrative position. Have thousands of people in the network, and I'm so honored to have that. But the financial literacy with MyEcon really is a game changer for me. And it works very, very well with me having both now. I have the ability to do what I'm good at, which is selling, recruiting, building teams, motivating, inspiring. But I also have a pure system that has nothing to do with that I can share with 87% of the world. And I can tell them, you don't have to sell anything. Let me show you how to take control of your finances. Let me show you how to take your own money and create wealth with it. See, the first thing is this. Let's talk about strategy number one. And for all the networkers, I really want you to think about this. Think about it, because you're networkers. But think about the people who's not networkers, because we all know that we talk to more people about trying to be networkers who are not networkers, who are not going to be networkers. But we talk to more people who are not networkers than we talk to people who are networkers. Because most networkers already are involved in a business, and they're trying to do what they think is right, and they're involved in a business. So we find ourselves talking to cold market people who do not have the skills and ability to do those things. And it's 87% of America, which is the biggest pot to actually talk to people, right? So think about this. Which one do you think you would be more successful in? convincing people who can't sell or recruit how to sell or recruit, or showing people 87% of America who has a job how to get their money back that the government is taking out of their paychecks every single month. Which one do you think is going to be more appealing to the average American? Hey, I can show you how to make $100,000, but you have to recruit and sell and build this big old team. And if you get 6,000 people, you can ride in a Ferrari. Or, hey, how much are they taking out of your taxes? $500 a month. What if I could show you a way to get 400 of that back? Which one do you think would be more appealing to the average person? See, many times we get stuck in our own world of what we think, what we want. But remember, what you do make it your hobby. What the world does make it your business. See, 87% of America is not going to think like an entrepreneur. They're going to think like Americans. They're going to think like people who get up and go to work every single day. And they're more concerned about the money that's being taken out their check than they are making $100,000 from selling and building a business. It's so amazing when I do a comparison on how many people I've helped in home-based business, building and recruiting and selling, and how many people I've helped with just financial strategies. And it's so amazing because me being a part of home-based business for years and me recently getting involved with financial literacy in the process of maybe 2.5 months, I'm already outpacing helping more people with financial literacy than all my years in home-based business. Because people in home-based business, they don't know how to sell and recruit. They can't sign up a person if you teach them how to, if you just gave it to them. But what they can do is face the realization that they're overpaying in taxes because they work a job. And what they can do is make a decision to say, hey, you know what? I want to get control of my taxes. How do I do that? Open up a home-based business. So we show people, hey, listen, you can open up a home-based business for only $179. And immediately after that, you can go back to your job, refill out your W-4 form, because there's parts in the W-4 form that's filled out incorrectly anyway. Most people never go back and revisit their W-4 form at all. From the moment they got the job, they never went back and revisited the W-4 form. The W-4 form clearly states when you fill it out to always go back and revisit your W-4 form if your circumstances change. Most people don't even know that there's 2 pages to the W-4 form, the first page and the second page. Most people only fill out the first page, never even see the second page. And if they see the second page, the human resource department will tell them don't worry about that page, because the human resource department don't even know how to fill out the second page, because they wasn't trained on how to fill out the second page, because the second page is where all the secrets are for people who own businesses, people who get extra deductions, extra exemptions. See, the average person think, oh, I got 2 kids, I can get about 3 exemptions, 2 exemptions. No, you can have 16 exemptions. If you had a business, the government would release income. So you got to understand, the government loves people who are entrepreneurs, who have businesses. Why? Think about it. Put yourself in their shoes. You make money from taxes, right? You're Uncle Sam, and you collect taxes from everyone. Now here's the deal. You give the business owners the tax breaks because they stimulate the economy. See, when they open up a business, if they're successful, normally they have to do what? They have to hire employees. So if one person opens up a business and becomes successful and they have 50 employees, well, that's 50 more people you've just employed that Uncle Sam can tax at the highest tax break of 33%. So he'll give you the tax break because you're stimulating the economy and you're actually giving him more people as employees to overtax. See, it is very important that you understand that. They're capitalizing off of you not having a home-based business. They love the fact that you think working hard, extra hours to make more money is going to work for you. Because every time you go in and get overtime, they're going to get a piece of it. They're going to go and tax you even more. Every time you go in and put in blood, sweat, and tears, they're going to get more. So what we teach you is the basic philosophy. Open up a home-based business for $179. Go back and adjust your W-4 form. We teach you and train you on how to properly fill out the first page and the second page. And that's all you do. When you do that right there, the magic happens. You haven't sold anything. You haven't told this business about your friends or your family. You didn't have to tell your uncles or your cousins or your nieces or your mom and your dad or your brothers and your sisters. You just simply opened up a home-based business, went back to your job, adjusted your W-4. Let's say, for instance, they was taking $200 bi-weekly, $500 a month out of your check. Now, all of a sudden, because you opened up a home-based business, adjust your W-4, you're cash flowing $450 a month. Extra. Your own money, but you're getting your own money back, $450 a month. How would that impact you? And what would it take for you to make an extra $450 a month in your home-based business right now? How many people would you have to enroll? How much recruiting would you have to do? How strong would your numbers have to be for you to continue to make an extra $400 or $500 a month? Which one would be easier? Opening a home-based business and adjusting your W-4, or open up a home-based business and having to sell or recruit your way to $500 a month? Then what we do is not only do we show you that strategy, but we show you what to do with the money. Because remember, it's not what you make, it's what you do with the money you make. So we don't just stop right there. We show you, hey, I'll give you an example. Let's say, for instance, someone's looking at this, and let's say, for instance, right now, you don't have too much debt, but you have a little debt, and the debt is still holding you back. Even though it's not too much, it's still hindering you, right? Because maybe your car note is $350 a month, right? And maybe you bought the car for $20,000, and you still have another $15,000 on the car. You still have another 3 years to pay the car off at 18% interest. So you're buying the car for $20,000 at 18% interest, which means you'll pay another $3,000 to $4,000 in just interest by paying the minimum payments for 3 years, right? Or 4 or 5 years, or however they long have you, to pay the car off. You'll end up paying $23,000, $24,000 for a car that's only worth $10,000, right? Because of your lack of understanding how, debt robs you. Just your interest is a couple $1,000s. By the time you pay for the car, you've paid for the car 3 times, right? So we show you when you make your adjustment. Let's say, for instance, you're cash flowing once you make your W-4 adjustment, $450 a month. But see, before you made that adjustment, you was paying $350 a month on the car note, right? Now you have an extra $450 coming into your household with the W-4 adjustment. See, what you do is you take the $450 and you apply it to the $350, and now you're paying $800 a month on the car. Why do you do that? See, because you want to get rid of debt, because debt is robbing you of your fortune. See, as long as you're in debt, you have negative cash flow. See, and most people are continuing to pay the minimums, and the interest rate is going to continue to rob you. You're never going to pay the car off. You're never going to pay the car off, because by the time you get to the last year to pay the car off, they're going to call you and try to make an adjustment where they lower your monthly payments because they want the interest to continue to build so you can keep paying for the car. So now you go from paying $350 a month with a car note that was due, you had another 3.5 years to pay it off. Now you're paying $800 a month. You didn't sell anyone. You didn't recruit anyone. You just opened a home-based business and adjusted your W-4, took that income, put it with the car note, and now versus you paying a car off in 3.5 years, you paid it off in 8 months. Do you know what you just did? You freed up debt. Now, by you freeing up debt, what happened? Now you freed up debt. So now not only do you have the $450 from your W-4 adjustment, but you also have the $350 for the car note. So now you have $800 a month of positive cash flow because you freed up debt. Is this making sense to anyone out there? See, you see how debt was robbing you, but because you flipped the tables and used the money strategy, now you have $800 of positive cash flow. Maybe you have 2 credit card bills. Maybe your credit card bills is $2,000. No problem, because you have $800 of positive cash flow using the money strategy. So guess what? Month 1 comes by, you take the $800, put it on the credit card. Month 2 come by, you put it on there. 3rd month come by, guess what? Credit card's paid off. So now it took you 8 months to pay off a car that would have took you 3 years to pay off. and you done paid $2,000 off in credit card debts in 3 months. So here we are 11 months later, not even a year later, and you're completely debt free. Car paid off and your credit cards are paid off. Do you know what you have now? Now you have the car note money, which is $350. You have the W-4 adjustment, which is $450, and you have the minimum payments that you would have continuing to be paying for your Visa card. So what if that was an extra $150 a month? See, now you have over $1,000 a month of positive cash flow, and you didn't sell or recruit anyone. Now here's the catch. Remember when I talked to you about being a multimillionaire? Mr. Brian Bean showed me by me investing $265 and opening up an investment portfolio and investing $265 for the next 31 years of my life, my 97,000 would have turned into $1 million. See, because you utilized the strategies and got out of debt and took control of your taxes, you have $1,000 of positive cash flow without selling or recruiting of one single person. And now because you have no debts, you're able to take that $1,000 a month and not put it in the bank. Remember? Because the bank does not pay you. They may give you 1%. That's the rule of 72. You'll never become successful with 1%. You can never create wealth. Your money cannot grow as fast with 1%. You have to open up an investment account. Cut out the middleman. Cut out the bank. You've eliminated your debt. You have positive cash flow. You have $1,000 now that you can consistently start to invest every single month. What do you think your money would be like 10 years from now of investing $1,000 a month for 10 years of positive cash flow, debt free? What do you think you would be 15 years from now just with that simple technique? Ladies and gentlemen, you would be a multimillionaire. That simple. You didn't sell anyone. You didn't tell anyone. You didn't tell your cousin. You didn't tell your brother. You didn't tell your mother. You didn't tell anyone. All you did was become conscious of what the real blueprint is to create wealth. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, this is the real secret, guys. I'm involved in network marketing. I love network marketing. I get paid monthly in network marketing. But financial literacy is the difference between getting rich and getting wealthy. So guys, I hope that this call actually exposed you and woke you up a little bit. We want to empower you guys and really teach you. If you're in network marketing, we want to empower your network marketing business. Because see, if you're in network marketing, that means you have the intentions of building a successful business and making lots of money. But if you don't understand how taxes work, if you don't understand how to keep up good records to write your lifestyle off, you will owe the government lots of money because you will get all the commissions and you will not pay your taxes. You will not do your taxes right. And the government will audit you once you become super successful and you start experiencing, nice income. They will audit you. And when they audit you, it's going to be the same way as if a parent had, if you call the CPS on someone. Once they get into your life, it's going to be hard to get them out, guys. So we want to educate you on finances, because what happens is both of them work very well together. Because if you have a network marketing company and let's say you're making $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month, now not only are you making that income, but you have the education on how to document all your business expenses throughout the year. That way, when it's time to file taxes, you have everything itemized, nice and neat, for the government to say, hey, yeah, I did make $20,000 this year. I made $30,000 this year. I made $50,000. I made $100,000 this year. But here are my tax deductions. Here are my good records. I actually had $30,000 in business expenses. See, some people are just going to make $50,000 in commissions, and they're going to go back and they're not going to know what they spent it on. And the government going to say, you know what, you made $50,000. Let's multiply that times about 25%. You owe us, you owe us $6,000. And then they're going to like, oh, well, what, how, I don't even know what I spent all the money. I got $6,000, but it's in the bank. That's the money I saved. You want me to give you the money that I saved? Because I made 50, but I spent most of it, but I have 6,000 I put in the bank. Now you want that money, IRS? Yes. See, because you put the money in the bank and your money didn't make money. So now you got to give away what you saved to the IRS because you didn't keep good records. So we want to empower people, no matter what company you in, you need to be financially literate on taxes, debt, and inflation. So I'm not going to hold you guys long because financial literacy can go forever. I mean, I love to watch Mr. Warren Buffett, guys. And before I go here, let me put something in your brain. Everyone knows Mr. Warren Buffett, and everyone knows he's a billionaire. Now, here's the catch. What year, at what age do you think Warren Buffett started investing? At what age do you think Warren Buffett started investing? See, that's going to be an interesting question, guys, because, see, the answer to that question is Warren Buffett started investing at the age of 7 years old. 7 years old. So I want you guys to really think about that. Because when I talk to you about how your money will gain compounding interest as you continue to invest and invest, see, most people are hearing this conversation at the age of 50. And it's 15. They have 15 years to retire. See, it's only so much time they have to make their money start to compound. But if you're hearing this in your 20s, see, you're in the right time right now. Because you have another 40 plus years before you're 65, and you can put $1,000 in the bank a year right now and still be a multimillionaire. If you have 40 years with discipline, you can do it. So it's all about your age, guys, based on how much you're going to need to invest to actually create wealth using investments. But it's something that's very, very important. And I can tell you this about retirement, guys. 401ks, pension plans, that no longer works. Okay, your 401k, people ask about investing and say, hey, is investing risky? Listen, 401k is very risky. Do your research, because your money can be taken from you at any time in a 401k and you can lose it. Okay, so and then most people have no idea how their 401k works. And there's so many hidden fees in the 401k that they won't even disclose to you. And then remember, you can't even pull your own money out without being penalized in the 401k. So 401k is very, very risky if you're looking at your 401k to be your source of retirement. And 401k is what, probably about 4%. If you're getting 4%, that can't produce you wealth. See, most people, let me give you an example before I wrap this call up. But let's say, for instance, you make $50,000 a year right now. Let's say you're 64 years old and you're about to retire next year. You make $50,000 a year. The question is, how are you going to sustain that $50,000 a year? See, because when you retire, you stop working, so that means you make less money. And if your 401k is around, it's definitely not going to give you $50,000 a year. So how do you maintain the same lifestyle of $50,000 a year now that you're retired? See, most people are going to move out of their house. They're going to have a nice, beautiful home. They worked all their life to get it. And, now it's retirement time. They're going to have to downsize. So they won't be able to pay for the house anymore. So they have to go in, they're 65 and they live in a one-bedroom apartment now. And they realize their money's starting to get short, and now they have to go and work at a little, fast food restaurant, or they have to work at Walmart or any other place that's going to hire them because they still need to create income through their retirement. Who wants that type of retirement? See, the reality is the only way to create a successful retirement or to maintain your lifestyle is to have an investment account. So if you make $50,000 a year right now, add a zero. That means you need $500,000 in an investment account before the age of 65 to continue to make $50,000 a year. Let me explain. See, let's say, for instance, you're 22 years old right now. You have 40 plus years, right, before 65. All those years you should be investing into an investment account that's bringing you back 12, 13, 15% interest. So your money can start getting compounding interest. So by the time you get 65, let's say you're making $50,000 a year right now. By the time you get 65, let's say you've invested maybe $100,000, but it turned into, 500, 600,000 because of interest. So now here you are 65 with 600,000 into your investment account, bringing you back 10%. 10% of 600,000 is how much? $60,000. See? So if you made $50,000 a year, and you have 600,000 in your investment account, bringing you back 10% every year, that's $60,000 a year. You're actually making more. You're making $10,000 more than what you were making when you retired, before you retire, right? So what you would do is you would have $500,000 in an investment account that you're not even touching. You're simply living off the interest. See, that's what you call a retirement plan. So what we're doing right now is we're going on a massive exposure right now with MyEcon, and me being an executive vice president in the company, and so proud to be that, and working my way through the ranks in collaboration with Mr. Brian Bean, who made his first $1 million at 21. We're looking for some people to impact some other leaders. We're looking for other networkers, and specifically in other network marketing companies. I love to connect with people like myself who do want to make substantial income, because we have a great opportunity for you to make money also in the program. See, for every 7 people you refer, is going to be $1,000 bonus. So for the people who want the substantial income to come quickly, we have an affiliate program that will work very, very well for you. But we want to teach you the financial literacy, because the financial literacy will take you to wealth. The income opportunity will take you to riches, but the financial strategy will make you wealthy. So if you're interested, definitely, guys, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You see my name here at the bottom of the screen. You can find me on Facebook under that name right here, Chadwick D. Robinson. Send me a friend request. Let me know that you enjoyed the tutorial, the training, and I'll definitely reach out to you guys. But we have a young gentleman here that's on the panel here before we actually leave. Let me shine a little light on him, since he actually got onto the panel, and it seems like that he's a part of One Life. So I'm sure that's Wake Up Now, and Wake Up Now is a good company, and I know there's some people that's doing some amazing things there. And the gentleman's by the name of Mr. Marcus. Mr. Marcus, not sure if you want to speak or say anything on the line here, or maybe you have a question. If so, you can unmute your line and definitely ask a question.
Actually, I don't. I really don't have a question. You just blew my mind, man. I'm just I don't have any questions there right now.
Anything? Well, just tell us what's on your mind based on the information that you've just heard. How do you feel right now?
Different. Different. You just threw out a lot of nuggets that I like. I really would love to get your mentorship.
Absolutely, man. And that's the one thing that I really love. I love to help people, man. Remember when I first got in, having those trials and tribulations, because it's very, like, network marketing, it boils down to 2 things. Imagine you at a beach. You draw a line in the sand. You have people on one side, people on the other side. Mm-hmm. People on one side, they're not making any money monthly,
right, in
network marketing. And on the other side, people are making money. Now, the people on the side that's making money, they're making different types of money. You have some people who consistently make $250 a month. And you have some people who make $10,000 a month consistently. But they're still on the same side of the fence. Make sense?
Right, right.
So I remember being on the side where I was not making money. I remember that. I remember the pain. I remember the frustration. And me just trying to get on the other side. I didn't care how much it was at one point. I just wanted to be someone who could say, hey, I am not over here just with the fluff and imagining it can work.
Now. That's me now.
Right? You just want to get on the other side of the tracks. Once I get on the other side of the tracks, then I can say, okay, I'm on the other side of the track. I'm on the right side now. Now I can continue to work on increasing how much I make.
Right.
But when somebody asks me, hey, are you making money? I can say yes. You see, that's where I was at, and I think that's what really drives me to help people get to that point. Help people get across the line, because once they get across the line, it's like their cherries pop. It's like it's a whole different world. Once they get on the other side, they can only make $100 a month. but it comes in for 3 months straight,
I can
everything
imagine.
about them changes. You know, so definitely, man. We're definitely. I'm looking for another 3 people to work with and help. And it's good that you're on this hangout, man. You seem like someone who has a good spirit, and I'm definitely looking for 3 more people that I can mentor and really pour into and teach some of these strategies. Let me ask you a question. Are you working a 9 to 5 right now?
Nah, actually, I'm just doing business, doing
Okay.
business.
Okay. So you're just right now. Are you looking to work a 9 to 5, or is your concept, I'm just gonna continue to be an entrepreneur until I start making money, or
Right,
what's
right,
your thought process?
right. No 9 to 5, no 9 to 5.
Okay. So the first deal is this, and I'm gonna talk to you a little bit on here. I know we've been going a little long here, but I'm gonna talk to you a little bit because I'm sure that some people maybe want to hear whatever I'm gonna say to you, because maybe this video will mentor to them before I cut it off. But the first thing you have to do in network marketing, I'm gonna tell you my secret, and it's not my secret. It was just something that was passed down to me from someone who had the true rags to riches story. Some of my best friends who got very, very wealthy. I remember when we was broken, we used to share burgers, split them down the middle, take a 6-piece nugget and share 3 nuggets. And I remember all of those hard times, and I remember they started in this field of network marketing way before me, and they started having super success after so many years of the pain.
Hmm.
And I remember the one thing that they told me was, listen, you want to be successful in this industry, your mindset has to be 10-year game plan. Not one, not two, not three, not five. 10 years in this industry, a decade. Can you survive a decade in this industry, working this industry without quitting? We're not talking leaving a 1 year and leaving for 2 and coming back and then coming. No, you just doing. See, some people have 10 years of experience in this industry, but they just have 10 years of the same year. It's
Hmm.
like they've been in 10 years, but their experience, they only have 1 year. They just did 1 year 10 times. See, that's what you don't want to do. See, see, the mentality I had when corporate America, when I lost my job at the age of 25, was I'll never work a 9 to 5 again.
Yeah, that's me. I'm 25 now.
Well, see, you're walking right down my shoes at 25 when I was fired, and I worked my way all the way up. I told myself I'd never work a 9 to 5 again. But you want to know what? That decision came with a lot of pain,
Hmm.
because you're gonna be broke, and people are gonna laugh at you, and people are gonna tell you, "Hey, go get a job."
Yep.
Your family members are going to tell you. Your mama's going to tell you. Your girlfriend's going to tell you. Your girlfriend might even dump you. You're going to go through things that most people cannot endure. Now, I want to tell you this too, though. Based on the financial education that I've given you, I don't want you to, now that, because I have a different level. Remember, when I was 25, I did not know financial education. So me working a job at that time was not suffice. It would not be sufficient because I did not understand what to do with money. So me working a 9 to 5 was really, would have been a waste of my time. But knowing what I know now, if I was 25 your age,
Uh-huh.
knowing what I know now, I would not be afraid to work a job, because the job would give me a source of income that I know what to do with, so I don't have to go through all the pain of only relying on a business, a home-based business, to produce my income. You see?
Hmm.
Because I would understand that, okay, now that I have education, I'm okay with working a job now, because I'm not in the job believing in the rat race. I'm in the job because I understand that, listen, I need to be investing $300 or $400 a month while I'm 25 now, so by 65 I can create wealth. Forget the 401k and the retirement they're talking about. I need money to start investing. I need to get out of debt. I need money to start investing in my 20s so I can actually create wealth by retirement. So working right now is not necessarily a bad thing because you will have the education. I would empower you with the education that will make you working put everything on steroids, because you would work, you would take advantage of all your taxes, your money will come back into your pocket, you would eliminate your debt, and then every time you're going to work, you're not working to get a check, you're working to get the check to invest the check into an investment bringing you back high interest to create wealth. And not only that, but when you're at the job, now you have the education to show other people at the job what you just did with no selling and recruiting, which also puts more money back into your pocket, because now you're showing them your check versus their check. Not your business check, not your home-based business check, your work check. You're like, we both make $12.50 an hour. Look at how much you got and look at how much I have. And they ask you, how did you do that? And now you provide them with the education, and for every 7 people, now you're making $1,000. Now you're taking that $1,000 along with the money you're making from your job to help eliminate debt. Now you have the $1,000. We teach you how to make $1,000 a month, then $1,000 a day. Now you're making $1,000 a week. Now you're taking that income along with your job income. You're investing it to speed up the process to make you wealthy. So the difference is you would be working a job, and people will be thinking that they're in the same boat as you. No, they're not in the same boat as you. Because when you look up at 35 or 32, you won't be working a job anymore. You'll say, no, I worked a job from 25 to 30 for the last 5 years, but the things that I did in the last 5 years empowered me to where I never have to work a job again. And now I have investment portfolios and I'm debt free. You guys still have to work all the way from 30 to 65. I'm done. See, so there's a different, you can do it either way. I just want to empower you so you understand that you don't necessarily have to take that road. You can do both if you choose to. If times get hard, it's okay for you to say, you know what? As a grown man, I'm going to still go up and I'm going to get me a job. But guess what? I know what to do with the money I'm making. You understand where I'm going with that?
Yep.
So we definitely want to work with you. But do this really quick here. Go ahead and find me on Facebook.
Yeah, I just sent you a request.
Okay. Good. And we have some people here. Let me see here. We got some things on the chat box. Mr. Pierre, pay your bills full-time, building wealth part-time. Absolutely. Let me bring in my one of my other mentees that I'm actually working with here. And I'm so sorry, guys, if you're looking at this live broadcast. And I know we've been over an hour, and I didn't really want to go this long, but financial education, it has a life of its own. But let me bring in one of my mentees that I'm actually mentoring and pouring some things into, a young gentleman who has a bright future ahead of him. I'm not sure if you're able to talk or not, but if you are, go ahead and unmute your line. Mr. Pierre Robinson, if you are able, you can unmute. If not, if you're just on behind the scenes, then I definitely understand. Are you there?
Oh, I'm definitely here, man. Definitely.
Oh, well, good to have you here, man. I went through a whole breakdown of, financial literacy, and the young gentleman here on the line, Mr. Marcus. Is your last name Monday?
Yep.
Absolutely. That's good. I like that. The first day of the week. I like that. Well, Mr. Marcus, he was here to listen in, and really, things that he heard blew his mind, and he's excited and want me to mentor him. So I'll put him. I'll be working with him as well as teaching him more about MyEcon and helping him figure out exactly what to do to get himself started with MyEcon so he can start into financial literacy. And just kind of being anytime I mentor people, I always tell them, hey, give me 18 months of full commitment to be open to everything that I'm going to teach you, even if you don't understand it, because you have to have an open teachability index. But I want to introduce you to Mr. Pierre Robinson, one of my young mentees, and he's doing some phenomenal things, leading trainings, and I'm pouring into him now, and it's going to be amazing. What's going on out there, Mr. Pierre?
Hey, I want to say this, man. I thank you for setting this up. I know it was kind of last minute, but when you say that you're about to do something, man, you definitely do it. And with Mr. Marquise, man, he's one guy that's actually following my leadership. We're learning together. you know, he's learning how to not only learn but change as well. That's something that you've implemented and poured into me. But this is meant to be, man, because you know, my main focus was never to build a big organization. My main focus was anybody that I come in contact with, let me help them on a one-on-one basis. And you know, with the knowledge that you're providing, man, is very, you know, it's something that's not only going to enable us to create wealth, but on another level, your mentorship is key. This brother, you know, I never looked at Marquise as my mentee. I looked at him as, you know, a brother from another mother. And, you know, anything that I have going on, I'm going to involve this brother in, because we definitely had the same mindset, man. He puts forth the effort to do anything that I'm telling him to do. So I wanted to invite him to this call and, you know, see and let him show, like, you are the person that taught me about momentum. Don't waste your time on people. Keep going, meeting new people, and by the time that people start catching up with you, you know, you weren't even worried about those people because you just kept moving. And that's where I got that from. So I wanted to really show him where I'm getting my secrets from, and you know, and invite him into my inner circle, man. Because I know, and I'll tell you this, Marquise, like, I haven't spoke to Chadwick in I'll say almost a year, but you know, in a year, that year ago, the things that this brother just poured into me, I was able to go off into a whole nother brand and become successful with.
Yeah.
You know, so the more that we stay beside this brother, you know, he's definitely going to help us not only acquire wealth, but to develop as, you know, entrepreneurs, man. He's definitely going to help us with that, man.
Awesome, awesome. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward for it.
Oh, absolutely, man. You know, and it's always good to see when people are coming together. And Pierre, man, you have a very, very bright future, man. And you know, I'm excited to you know, pour into you and teach you the things that I do know, to watch your story manifest in the people. See, because here's the deal, guys. And I apologize for all the viewers right now if we're going a little long on this webinar. And you know, if it's too long for you guys, you guys just hit the off button if you can't stay. But one thing I've learned is anytime you have someone with the desired results you're looking for, you always want to catch those clues. So if I were you, and you're not making money in network marketing, or you have debt and you don't know about taxes, I would still be listening to this, even if it's on a pre-recorded, even if you're listening to it while it's not live. I will be staying on here with pen and pad, getting any notes that comes out of this conversation, because all it takes is one seed to create a major harvest. But it's so amazing what one of the things that you learn in life is that you can count how many apples, you can count how many seeds are in an apple, but you can never count how many apples are in a seed. See, you have to always remember that when looking to build an organization. As young entrepreneurs, you have to always remember that. If you treat people like that, if you understand the philosophy behind creating your own harvest, then you have to understand that. Listen, you can count how many seeds are in an apple, but you cannot count how many apples are in a seed. See, most people visualize network marketing completely wrong. They think one person is one person. One person is not one person. One equals 11. One can equal 1,000. One person can equal 1,000. One person is not one person. One person can be 1,000 people. One seed can produce 1,000 apples. You see, so you really want to understand that, because when you're trying to build a business, it's so important for you to grasp that concept, because what happens is you start to understand that, listen, when I have a seed, it's important for me to nourish the seed. Most people don't do that. They say, man, I'm just going to get 1,000 seeds. Let me go get 1,000 seeds, and I just plant 1,000 seeds, and then, you know, I'm going to have this huge harvest. No, you're not. Want to know why? Because you're going to plant 1,000 seeds, and you're going to be so busy planting seeds that you didn't go back and water the first 10 seeds that you planted. You planted 1,000 seeds, but you watered none of them. So yeah, you planted 1,000 seeds, but why is your harvest not growing? because you was too busy planting. You didn't do any watering. You didn't do, you didn't make sure that the soil you was planting in the right soil. Matter of fact, you were doing planting. You planted 1,000 seeds, but you planted them on bad soil, on dry land, like soil it wasn't even fertile. So all the 1,000 you went out there and you did, guess what? It created no harvest. And that's what burns people in this industry, is that they go out there and talk to 1 million people, they plant all these seeds, and then they're like, man, I planted 1,000 seeds, signed up 5 people, they did, and what do I do now? Listen, I teach people simplicity. The first seed you have to plant is yourself. See, most people, they want to go teach somebody else how to make money, or teach somebody else how to, overcome challenges. They want to teach the next person how to think positive. They want to teach the next person how to do this and do that, but they can't even do it themselves. See, before you teach someone to overcome a challenge in a business and not quit, you have to teach yourself how to do it. So when the challenge comes for you and you feel like quitting, you don't quit. See, that's the first seed. You are the seed. See, most people are looking for the seed, and you are the seed. You are the seed. It's not the person that's on Facebook who's saying he's making a lot of money and you're trying to recruit him because you think if you recruit him, he's going to go and build a business for you. No, you are the seed. It starts with you. You can make a business. You can create an organization of 1,000 people starting with you. So you have to get yourself right. You have to become valuable to the marketplace. You have to become attractable to the right people. See, people do business with people they like, love, and trust. Let me ask you a question. Do people like, love, and trust you? What's your influence like? Because, see, you want to recruit the person who has the influence. You want to recruit the person who's likable. You want to recruit the person who's already a mentor. You want to recruit the person who already has a huge organization. You want to recruit the person who has the ability to speak and coach and mentor and inspire. You want to recruit the person who has the positive mindset. You want to recruit the person who believes even when they don't see visually. They don't see with eyesight, they see with insight. You want to recruit the person who can just explode and build a massive organization. Let me ask you a question. Can you do those things? Because, see, level 5 leaders don't join businesses with level 1 leaders. See, you have to become attractable to the right people. And that only starts with you understanding that you have to be the farmer. You have to plant yourself in the soil first, which means you have to be willing to get your hands dirty. You have to be okay with being the farmer. You have to be okay with getting on your knees, planting yourself down and getting dirty and getting talked about and laughed at. And you have to be okay with people looking at you, go through your challenges, talk behind your back, talk in your face. And you have to be okay with saying, you know what, I'm going to keep on pressing. And you know what, I might not attract the best of the best people to my network, but whoever I do attract, I'm going to try my best to inspire them. I'm going to take this person who is a dud. They can't do nothing. But guess what, I'm going to treat them, they can't even walk. But guess what, I'm going to give them some braces. I'm going to give them a crutch and tell them, I know you can't run, but hey, you just start limping. And you know what? As you keep limping, you just keep limping. And guess what? Eventually, you're going to limp a little faster. And you work with those people. And as you're working with those people, psychologically, you're working on yourself. And as you increase your ability to make yourself better, you'll see the people that's limping, they'll start to limp faster. They might start walking. Right? And they might actually walk and take you to another person who's not limping, that can walk. But that person can't run, but they started off walking, and you teach that person how to run. Then that person starts to run, but the person who started off limping, they quit the business. But it's okay because now you got somebody that can run. But they can't sprint yet though, but they know how to run, but they get tired quick. They can't keep running, but they get tired quick. But guess what? They introduce you to somebody that can sprint. You see? And before you know it, if you just stay on course, you become attractable to people who can sprint, because somebody that can sprint, notice that somebody that can sprint is working with you. And the person that can sprint is telling the other person that can sprint, hey, I'm working with this person, man. You know, I used to know how to run, but they taught me how to sprint. So the person who already know how to sprint say, oh, they taught you how to sprint. Well, shoot, if they told you how to sprint, they could probably teach me how to jump. So that you have to work on yourself. Perfect yourself. Is a constant flow of perfecting yourself, and you need a coach and a mentor to be able to do that, so you can become the best version of yourself that you could be. See, the more valuable you become to the marketplace, the more money you make. What's the value? What's the marketplace? The people. How valuable are you to people? See, as I'm speaking and you're listening to these words, how valuable are these words? And if these words were not as valuable, what would you think about this webinar? Would you still be on it? Would you still say, man, I need your mentorship? See, it is not me. It is the value that I provide. If I stopped with this value and I was not providing substance or value that was valuable to you, I would be worth nothing. You wouldn't say, hey, I need your mentorship. See, it's that simple. How valuable are you? How valuable is your brain and the things that's coming out of your mouth? When you talk, what do people say? Do they stop and listen? See, these are some of the things that I want to coach you young guys and teach you how to become a better version of yourself. And I guarantee you, as we work on yourself, you will start to attract people. The more you work on yourself and the better you get at your craft of being the best version of yourself, you will become more attractable to people. So we'll teach you that. But guys, I don't want to hold people up too long here, because this call is about financial literacy, and we've gone into a whole nother phase of training that I'll teach you guys and talk to you guys offline. So anybody that's been listening to this, guys, you definitely want to get a hold of me on Facebook, Chadwick Robinson. That's my name, guys. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Get a hold of me on Facebook, on YouTube, however you want to do it, guys. We'll be excited to work with you guys. I'll let you know exactly about MyEcon and give you some website information to look at, so you can get more understanding of what it is we do, but most importantly, why it's working. And you young gentlemen, stay on the line. We're going to disconnect. Maybe we're going to go into a private session to talk to you guys a little bit more, since you're on the panel, and definitely going to be moving forward, and I'll be pouring into you guys. But for all the viewers, thank you so much for viewing. For everyone that's looking at this video, if you like, you can call me on my business line at 832-387-6562. That's 832-387-6562. Ask for Mr. Robinson. And like I always say, we won't see you at the top. We'll see you over the top, because you deserve to win. Y'all guys have a blessed day. Young gentlemen, stay on the line here as I disconnect, and we'll talk a little bit more off the record.